close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go. We'll grow in number, fueled by thunder, see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by thunder, see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
I want you to stay. 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 want you to stay. I want you to stay.
Hey, what's up? I hope everyone had a great day playing one of the greatest league launches of all time. I know I sure had a blast on stream. But we're going to go over the day one Lightning Strike character, and you may see that this is actually Lightning Strike. And where's Spectral Helix? I don't know. Look at this guy. This is Lightning Strike. He's looking around. Is there Spectral Helix over there? Nope. Is there EA Ballista over there? No. Where are they? The answer is they're left in the dust because their builds are too slow. But basically, Lightning Strike blows away my mind. I do not know how to stress this enough. It blew me away. Compared to last league, the build is just so much better. Part of it's also because of the frenzy charges you get from Mark. Part of it is also because Gale Sight is insane. Another part is because the Amulet, the most OP Amulet to ever exist, was sold to me for 35 Chaos. 35 Chaos. Now, I don't know how much the Amulet is right now at the time of this video, but the Amulet is very common. This Amulet that is probably 1.5 times better than Unatol's Vow that I paid like 20x and that was at 200x last league is a super common drop from Searing Exarch, and I paid 35 Chaos for it. So this build, anyone playing a Poison build, I'm sorry to inform you, not to play. Wrong move. I'm sorry about that. But Trinity all the way because of the Amulet. That's something that I really thought about. Trinity with the Amulet is the play, and there's really no other way that any other build, particularly Poison builds, can actually compete because the elemental penetration you gain and all res is just too crazy. But let's get straight into it and see what happened to me on my first day. So first day, this video is brought to you by Monster. Actually, I just drank a lot of Monster yesterday. But basically, day one summary killed all of the new endgame bosses. Pretty easy, remarkably easy. I guess when you have an amulet like this, it's just kind of dumb, right? So Amulet is stupidly common for how common it is. That doesn't make sense. I mean, stupidly overpowered for how common it is. It is also stupidly common for how common it is because I think it's pretty cheap, right? So should we bring it up so see how much the current Amulet actually costs? Let me bring my game up right now. Current Amulet. Why can't I see it? I don't know. For some reason it doesn't like to update it. But let's see how much Crystallized Omniscience is. So let's go on Path of Exile trade. How much do you guys think this Amulet is? So this Amulet, I made a video prior to launch. I said this thing would be busted, and lo and behold, it was busted. I bet you it's pretty common. 30 results, 1.5x. So even though I bought it for 35 Chaos, you can buy yours for pretty cheap at the moment. It is just way too common of a drop for it to be expensive, which is insane. This is going to change the course of the whole league, I think. It's just that crazy. Anyone not playing an elemental penetration build with this Amulet is just doing it wrong. It also makes Brass Dome very, very powerful. Gale Sight is probably better than Secrets of Suffering until endgame. So what Gale Sight gives you is it gives you a chance to inflict Brittle, but it doesn't give you Sapped and Scorch, which means that you can shock, right? So 50% shocked is definitely going to be better than 30% Elipen with Scorch, especially when you have base like 70 to 100% Elipen with the Amulet. Now, something to note is that because you get the Brittle on this, you are able to still shock, right? So 50% increased damage is insane. You also don't lose like 2 gem sockets or 2 passive points to put in the gem socket or jewel socket of Secrets of Suffering. Now, endgame Secrets of Suffering might still win out because you can get a Blizzard Crown with, what's it called? You can get a Blizzard Crown with a Berserk enchant or something like that, which should make it win out. However, it is important to note that my helm is actually not quality. Dude, that's a rookie move. What am I? This is not a Quinn stream, is it? But basically, you can see here, you should quality every single item. But as you can see here, you sometimes forget, right? But Gale Sight is 31% LE damage, 10% per sextant. So it's also 80% LE damage in the best case scenario late game. So it is probably going to out DPS Secrets of Suffering with the extra jewel socket, with 80% LE damage versus Blizzard Crown, and you can still get the Gale Sight enchanted. The big thing to note is that you will probably be unable to get the enchant unless you pay for a lab service. Now, right now, I'm focused on finishing my whole Atlas tree and setting up the farming method. Like right now, you can see Atlas 96 out of 117. Atlas tree is still in the middle of being respec'd, so I'm going to start taking all these nodes on top. And you can see in my previous video what my endgame Atlas tree is going to be. I'm going to be trying to buy delirium orbs and doing some of these maps. I have started buying some of the Deli orbs, but not really sure how profitable it was. I also did a simulacrum, got to wave 20. Build is still lacking a bit of DPS because of the fact that brittle is kind of hard to stack in simulacrum, and I do think the build needs a little bit more oomph in terms of the clear because the simulacrum was kind of hard a little bit, but still got to wave 20 and it wasn't really that bad. And I also had the worst layout known to mankind. But notable purchases for today: Gale Sight for 1x, Crystallized Omniscience for 35 Chaos, 6-link chest for 35 Chaos, and this is the chest I ended up with. So it got Life, Cold Res, I crafted on a Resist, and then it got Spell Suppression. So the way I made this chest was it was Life and Resist, and I crafted on Spell Suppression, and I used Reforge more likely. So this is a harvest craft that you can do, and it is very, very useful for helping you get what you need, and it's actually the best way to craft your suppression chest. And then maybe Replay Banner next, right? So as I'm making this video, also kind of helps me out to see what purchases I can make, right? Replay Banner is the item that I do think is going to be pretty rare until people start farming Haku research more, and it's pretty cheap, right? 2.5x, it was 3x yesterday. This is probably going to be my next upgrade, I think. It's either this or I go for full spell suppression. Not really sure what's the better route. Full spell suppression is pretty good, but I also think that Replay Banner plus Brass Dome is still going to be the better play. They're both very, very similar options at 83 all res, and having 83 all res and all that armor is very similar to spell suppression, at least from what I tested last league. Spell suppression was usually the better play early game, but Replay Banner should beat it out after a little bit. So now let's see, what did I find and sell? So I found a scout card. So this is one of the cards in the tropical island. You can see here it's still in my stash waiting to be sold, but I'm kind of just going to hold on to it. I also found 2 of these Orb of Conflicts. I think they're really, really common though. Found a 2120 Seismic Trap that I sold for 1.5x. I found 1 Pure Exalted Ore. Found a Tinker Skin in campaign. I sold this for 1x. I found a Cold Iron Point, sold it for 1x. But I did make the majority of my currency selling claws and using essences for crafting. A lot of people ask, what exactly am I using for the essences? So let me see if I have a claw here to demonstrate on. So do I actually have a high eye level claw? So you kind of want eye level like 78 plus claw, I think, at the very least, so you can get the T1 rolls. So do I have a claw here? Let's see, Imperial. So this one here is 79, and this one here is 81. Okay, so we can try using it on this one. So the essences that you can use are this one here, which is Shrieking of Hatred. So here, not good enough. You kind of want to look for some that are 2 LA rolls with attack speed. So this one, not good enough. And now we use this one here, Screaming of Wrath, not good enough again. And then you use the fire one, which is this one. We have some chances here. Almost good enough. Almost good enough. Almost good enough, right? 6-2. You could probably craft like attack speed on this and sell it, but we're trying to go for something better, right? We're not settling for the mundane. This one is almost good enough. Again, not good enough. Then you can also use these crit chance ones if you want to sell it to like a raider. Who knows why anyone is playing that. Basically, you just do it like this, right? And eventually you'll get a jackpot one that you will be able to sell for a lot. And yeah, so that's pretty much it on how you actually craft the claw. It's a lot harder than it may seem, and I do have a lot of essences because of the fact that I have all these nodes on the tree. So you can see here, even these essences are worth a lot. So like I said, made most of my currency from essences and finding a bunch of random stuff from playing so much. Next up, we have the question that I was asked probably 50,000 times in stream, which is when should you swap to Lightning Strike? And I was playing Spectral Helix all the way to yellow maps, and then I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought to myself, what was I doing with my life? Lightning Strike is going to blow Spectral Helix away. Jung Roan was baiting me. He was too in love with Spectral Helix as he was playing SSF Hardcore. And then I had to remember that SSF Hardcore likes playing slow builds, right? So you want to get alternate ailments. You want to make sure you have some sort of brittle. Brittle is extremely important for Nightblade uptime. You want to finish Uberlap for Blitz charges. If you're playing a melee skill, especially like Lightning Strike, you want to have the 40% more attack speed to feel a lot better. You want to have at least a 5-link. The current 5-link I'm running is Lightning Strike. multi-strike, inspiration, added cold, nightblade at Trinity, so I don't have added lightning damage. So I'm using Wrath to proc the Trinity. Now, some people might be wondering why I'm not using Anger, and the reason I'm not using Anger is because Anger is only useful when you have Secrets of Suffering to apply to Scorch. Now, Spectral Helix was hot garbage in terms of clear. It was painfully obvious how bad it was compared to the top tier skills. And boy, was it garbage on some maps and some bosses. Spectral Helix is just terrible, especially when the boss was TPing around. Lightning Strike is as amazing as always. It will scale even better with Pierce and plus Strike. And new Elder Glove mods are game changers for early accessibility. So you can see here, this is my gloves. You can actually get Pierce and Strike on a pair of gloves on the implicit, so it's completely crazy. And it will make actually crafting the gloves a lot easier than before because you pretty much don't need to worry about anything else. And you can just spam essences until you get a roll you're satisfied with. And on note, you do want to get a lot of stats on your amulet. A lot of people ask, how does this amulet work? You need to stack some stats on it so that you can actually have enough omniscience. It says here 727 omniscience, which is 72 all res and 72 pen, right? So you can see my items don't really have that much stats on it or resist on it, and it's just kind of crazy how you can get so much resist from just this one item. And I am anointing Panopticon because all of your burst does come down when you have your 2 totems up. And people who don't anoint Panopticon just aren't playing the game correctly. So what do I actually think of the new endgame and the league? The new endgame and the league, the new base pinnacle bosses are way too easy. I know they had the SSF hardcore event. I think the base bosses being so easy makes all of the loot kind of devalued in the sense that everyone's just going to be able to farm the items, right? So all of the loot is going to be just flooded into the market. And I guess the only chase items will be the jewels for the ascendancies. But even then, with how fast people can farm these pinnacle bosses, I don't think even the most expensive jewels will be over like 100x later on. So I think the fights are too accessible and the base difficulty too easy. The fights look visually stunning. It has some interesting mechanics. There's some cool things. There's a Painsmith from World of Warcraft. If you remember, where you have to run through little gaps, and if you run into like a line of explosions, you die. League is rewarding, but requires you to have an encyclopedia nearby as you look for all the recipes and perfect item combinations. So you need to have something like this to have all of the recipes known. And something that's like kind of a pet peeve of mine is how bad the UI is. Like, it doesn't sort the stuff at all, so you just have to like hover over everything to figure out what recipe to use. And another thing that I found that was really, really bad was the fact that when you try to put these in, the game doesn't pause, so you're literally getting destroyed by mobs as you're trying to figure out what to put into the arch nemesis. Other than that, wish there was a better UI, like I said, and auto pickup. I do think that these things will probably be addressed later on. Now, a lot of people might be wondering what the Exalt price currently is. The Exalt price is actually kind of lowering a little bit. It's at 80 Chaos. Probably still a little bit higher than most days or first days. The reason behind that is because of everyone doing the highest day Chaos recipe. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff, right? So overall, I really like the endgame, really like the new league. I really like my this build. And I do think that I will probably play this a little bit longer and then swap into Venom Gyre. This is my claw right now. It is kind of nice. I don't really know how good the pen is value-wise, but definitely not too shabby. It's a T3, T2 roll. Everything about the gear, not too crazy budget. The most expensive items are the items I mentioned in the previous slides. Probably need a new pair of boots. These pair of boots are actually an abomination. It actually make me cringe when I look at them. But swap to Lightning Strike as fast as you can if you're playing Spectral Helix. The skill, Spectral Helix, is hot garbage. I stress again, the skill, Spectral Helix, is hot garbage. It's actually hot garbage. I hate it. Lighty was right. Spectral Helix is hot garbage in every scenario, but it does allow you to cheese the single target damage if Lightning Strike wasn't so OP with Gale Sight and Crystallized Omniscience. But thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the bossing content that's at the start. And be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch stream and join Discord if you have any questions. And I hope you find more mirrors, exalts, and mage busts to me. And see you next time. Bye.